Okay, so hi guys, welcome to Hildi's Homestead, I guess. I just thought I would start recording because I just did an order of herbs from one of my herb suppliers, and you guys often ask me about that, what I order, where I order from, what I'm using, what I order, stuff like that. So I just thought I would go through the order with you before I start putting everything away and give you just a very quick overview of what I have and what I use it for. I am not a doctor. I am not a certified herbalist. I am not a nurse. I am not a health practitioner. I am just somebody who's been studying and playing with herbs for, probably the last 20 years or so. And I use them for the things that are good for me and that I know that they are good for me. So I encourage you to do your own research and, not take my word for anything. And if there's something that interests you, definitely look it up for yourself. This is just what I get for me and how I'm using it. So I order from a company called Organic Matters or Om Foods. They're located in Nelson, BC, I think, because I'm located in Canada and I know everybody gets their herbs from Mountain Rose, but Mountain Rose is on the other side of the Rockies and in the States, so between the exchange and the shipping and everything like that, it really is not worth it for me. So here's their logo. You can find their website. I'll try to maybe link it down on the bottom, but it's basically Om Foods, which stands for Organic Matters. So everything from the website is organic, non-GMO, stuff like that. So that's really good. They are mostly a food company. So if you're looking for nuts and seeds and butters and, organic sugar and stuff like that, this is a very good place to order from. They do also have a great deal many herbs and stuff, so they're always my first go-to. Sometimes there's medicinal herbs that I cannot get there. So for example, if I wanted willow bark, they don't stock that. I'm going to have to find another place to order that. But you can get a lot of the stuff there that you'll see in the order here, including really, common things like rose hips and stuff like that. So just to start off here, this is elderflower. The elder plant in general is really known for helping out with colds and flus. There's actually a constituent in there that actually fights the flu virus. So every year I usually make a syrup out of some ingredients, including elderberry and elderflower, with some other things like rose hips and other things like that. So it's a little late in the year to be making syrup, but I do have some tinctures I have of elderflower, which I use in a pinch, but I am going to start and get some syrup going because we still do have a couple of nasty months ahead of us, so that's good to have that. Next I have the Darjeeling tea. It's just a black tea. It's really tasty. I don't know that there are specifically any medicinal benefits for it. I'll try to get a shot of it here. It's just black tea. It's very smooth and mild and mildly sweet tasting, which is really good for me. Anything, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, several probably, and anything I can have where I don't need to add a lot of sugar to make it taste sweeter is really good for me, so I really like this. My husband enjoys it as well. This I have burdock root, cut and sifted root. I try to gather as many herbs as I can from my own yard and the surrounding areas and stuff, and we do have quite a bit of burdock growing here, but anybody who's seen burdock knows that getting the root out is a nasty job and almost impossible, so I'm more than happy to have somebody else do that for me and pay them a little bit of money for that, because it is the root that has all the benefits in it, and it is like a tonic herb. I put this into everything, soups, stews. I have an herbal tea that I make once a week that I add to smoothies and the dog food and stuff like that in the morning, and I put that in there. It's just a general good blood building kind of herb. It's good for your blood and your immune system and all kinds of stuff like that. If you're interested, I would highly suggest researching that. I know that they use burdock as a vegetable, and I think it's some kind of Asian cooking. They just use the fresh burdock itself, so definitely good to have on hand. Here I have dried elderberries, the whole berries. This is again the same plant as the elderflower. So this was the flower, these are the berries. The berries is usually what people use, although the flower have many of the same constituents, so I tend to use both in my syrups. Plus, you know, the berries are just like really yummy. You can make this syrup and then use it in things like teas and on pancakes and stuff like that. So it's kind of a good way to stay healthy. Here I have raspberry leaf. This is another thing. I have a ton of raspberries growing around here. Normally I would pick the leaves and dry them myself every year. This last year I didn't get around to doing it, so it kind of hurts me to have to buy this because normally I harvest my own, but I don't have any left and there won't be any leaves around for quite a while, so I figured I would buy a small bag. They sell it by the weight, so I don't have my price listing in front of me, but the prices were pretty reasonable for the size of the bag. This will last me quite a while. You can use this in teas or tinctures. Very good for women's issues. Tonifies the uterus. Good for menstrual cramps. They give it to women before giving birth. They give it to women after giving birth. So really good for general women's issues. If you have any kind of womanly issue to deal with, I would recommend that you definitely research raspberry. It makes a nice tea, nice mild tea. Tastes a little bit green, but you can mix it with other things if you don't particularly like a green taste. I tend to put mine in tincture form and blend it with other things as well, because if I had to take a tea for every herb that I use, I would just be drinking tea 24 hours a day, and that wouldn't really work for me. So, but it does make a very nice tea. This is dried aloe vera. I've never seen dried aloe vera before. So I haven't opened it yet, but I assume that it's in a powdered form, which if you've seen the aloe vera plant, it's like this huge prickly leaf, and you slice open the leaf and it's got all this gel inside. So usually I like to process my own plants. Like I said, I'll make my own tinctures or my own syrups or teas, or, you know, harvest it myself. But I think that drying aloe vera is something that would take a little bit more labor than I'm willing to put in, and I've never tried it before, so I'm going to try using this in some things like soaps or face creams or things like that. It should really be interesting to see how that works out. Like I said, this was bought, sorry, I'm trying to focus this. This was bought at a store, that a company that sells food grade things, so it doesn't say on here if it's food grade, although I suspect that it is, but you can always check the website if you wanted to take. I know some people take aloe vera internally for stomach issues. I personally don't do that and would not do that. There are so many good herbs that you can take, and I know that aloe vera has some risks with the lining and stuff like that, so personally I just wouldn't use aloe vera for that. But if you are someone who does, definitely you can check out the website and see if this is food grade, and you can just use it in there. That might be really an easier way to take it for you. This one is Psyllium Husks. I wanted powdered. They didn't have powdered. I think this is whole husks. So I'll just grind this up myself. The reason I got this, I don't usually use this for anything, but I have some activated charcoal, and I was looking, I was checking out YouTube, and I saw a way of making a charcoal patch. So that's really interesting, because anybody who knows anything about charcoal, it's really good for like infected wounds or to prevent wounds from getting infected. What the charcoal does is it sort of draws all the toxins and bad stuff out of the wound. And you can mix it with the psyllium husks and make this kind of patch ahead of time and stick it in the freezer. And then if something happens, all you do is cut out a piece of the large patch that you make and put it on top of the wound to prevent it from getting severely infected. So, you know, in a first aid kind of situation. So that sounds like a really good thing to have around. And honestly, I just like playing around and making new stuff. So that'll be fun to try and make. I can ground this stuff down myself. I think I need powdered husks, but I can grind this down myself and try that. So maybe when I try that, I'll keep you guys informed and let you know how that turns out, because that sounds like it's going to be a fun thing to do. This is Moringa Leaf powder. Moringa Leaf, if you're not familiar, is like one of those super does it all, everything kind of powders. This will be going into probably our smoothies and stuff like that. But this is another good one if you've never heard of moringa to go and look up. It's quite honestly, it's good for everything. It's good for everything from balancing hormones. It's rich in antioxidants. It lowers your blood sugar. It lowers your inflammation. It lowers cholesterol. It's good for asthma. It protects the brain. It's, you know, good for heart health. It really is just, and that's, you know, I don't even think that's half the list. So again, that's another good one. And it's pretty tonic. I don't think that, you know, people add it to teas and smoothies and stuff like that. So it's a good thing to research if you're looking for something to maybe generally add to your morning smoothie to make you a little bit healthier. This might target something that you are dealing with. So that's a good thing to go research as well. It really is. It's just supposed to be one of those things that's good for everything. And I don't say that lightly. I don't usually say that about herbs as easily as people usually do, but this really does seem to, they have all kinds of studies done on it and stuff. So it's a good one to check out. This is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is another herb that's supposed to be good for all kinds of stuff, although not as much as moringa. Ashwagandha is mostly used for things like anxiety, insomnia. It's also been known for good for fibromyalgia, menstrual problems, thyroid problems, liver problems, lowers your blood sugar, lowers the fat in the blood. It's a good adaptogen. People use it for arthritis. So this is another good one. I was reading studies where it was saying something about increasing muscle mass, but I'm not sure about that. You really don't take my word for that. You'd have to go double check it again. I was just looking at that the other day, so I'm not sure. I don't remember all the details. Also good for pain, swelling, inflammation. So, you know, again, if you are having arthritis or something like that, that's a good one to try also. This usually is made as a tea, I believe. This is my Astragalus. Astragalus is another super adaptogenic herb. This is another one between this and the burdock. This will go into everything. I will put it in soups. I will put it in stews. It will go in the herbal tea that goes into the smoothies every morning. You know, if you're making a bone broth or a vegetable broth for later, this will be in it everywhere. This is really good for supporting the immune system and all kinds of things like that. Very mild tasting. If you put it into a soup or stew, you don't even notice that it's there. Really, really good. I try to always have this on hand. Unfortunately, I'd been out of it for a while, and I don't know that this is something that it doesn't grow around here where I am. I don't know that it grows anywhere even around this side of the continent, so this is definitely something I have to order that I'm not able to get for myself. I have a couple of things in here that I had ordered for a friend of mine, so I'll just take you through those as well in case you find that interesting. This is Bliss Tea. So also on the website they have all kinds of tea blends and stuff like that. So if you're a big tea drinker, they have all kinds of tea blends and green teas and red teas and black teas and all kinds of stuff like that. This one is called Bliss Tea. What's in this is Damiana leaf, which I am not familiar with, lemon, verbena, lavender, flowers, cleavers, oat straw, calendula, petals. So, judging from what the ingredients are and the name of the tea, I'm guessing this has a very calming, soothing effect, and is made for maybe supporting the nervous system and having a calming effect as a tea. So that's one that my friend had ordered. So I'll have to ask her and see what she thinks about that, if that's good. This is another thing that my friend had ordered. It's Erythritol. Again, this is something I am not familiar with, but when I looked it up, it's basically like something derived from corn that's used as a sweetener to replace sugar. Again, organic, non-GMO in this case, so I know people have concerns about corn. So I've never tried that. Again, I'm going to ask her and see how she likes it. maybe she'll let me open it up while she's here so I can get a little taste of it. That would be kind of interesting. But yeah, really interesting. They have all kinds of stuff like that, so really interesting. This is another one she ordered, which is chicory root roasted. This, I don't know why specifically she ordered, but I do know that the main use of this usually is as a coffee replacement. So I'm assuming that's what she's using it for. I will speak to her because, like I said, I do a lot of my own harvesting, and we have chicory growing everywhere around here, although this is the root. I know that you can also use the flowers and the leaves, but that may be something to try harvesting around here if that's something that people are interested in. And the last thing that she had ordered is the ramen powder. The only thing I know about this is that it's a seed of a sweet fruit. So possibly another sugar substitute. I'm not sure. Judging from what she's ordered, so we have a relaxing tea, 2 sugar substitutes, and something to replace coffee. So these sound like all things that are for basically calming and soothing and relaxing. So I'll have to check with her and see what her intention was in buying all that. But that was the last thing that I have in my box. So yeah, that's about it. That's the order I got. Most stuff in here is stuff that I always use, but there's a couple of things I'm going to be playing with. So if I decide to make something new or play with something new, I will definitely keep you guys posted on how that works out. Again, I am not a doctor, I am not an herbalist, so, you know, definitely do your own research, take your health into your own hands, absolutely. Definitely check out the website, it's Organic Matters, or omfoods.com. I'll try to place a link to that for you. But they have good quality stuff, especially if you're in Canada. It can get a little pricey to order from the States, so that's always the first place I'll go to. And then if I don't find what I'm looking for there, then I'll try some other places. So they are located in Nelson, BC, so especially if you're on the west coast of Canada, that even the shipping will be a little more reasonable for you because it won't even have to go over those big rocky mountains. So that's about it. And I will keep you guys posted on anything that I do. If you have any questions or comments, definitely let me know. I'm always reachable. And you guys have a good day. Thanks. Bye.